Hi, hello. Welcome back to another episode of HOA, Hero of Ages. Bye.
Second.
You're like, can't say that.
Like, well, oh, what's happening? What's going on?
Bye. It would have been so funny
Yeah,
if
because
you
then I would
just
have had to
if
explain, like, what the fuck.
I have a I have a podcast, and that's how we end every episode. Until next time, bye.
Yeah, it was
Oh, I love that.
it was a whole moment. Okay,
It's fine. I
yeah.
love
So
that. Okay.
this is part 3 of the book, The Broken Skies.
Last time Brandy read a spoiler, and I think I know exactly what spoiler she read.
We didn't get to the spoiler that I read in this episode work.
What? Oh no. No.
Yeah.
Listen, when I was reading this, Will was over here listening to his audiobook on his computer, and I'm sitting here and I just go, oh fuck. And he goes, what? Please tell me. Where are you at? What are you reading? And I was like, I knew it. Well, damn it.
We didn't get there in this episode.
Fuck. Next time. Anyways, 34 is
Chapter 34.
the start.
So, blurb. Reading the blurb, I think that both preservation and ruin are bad.
Yeah.
I don't think that either one of them, like, I think that you need balance between the two to have, like, peace and goodness. I think that both of them are bad.
Yeah, I not that I don't think they're good or bad. I do think you need like the balance, and I think that there is some one of them like maybe preservation had more for the longest time.
Yeah.
And maybe this is like where the Lord Ruler had essentially like um fucked him up.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe he tried too much preservation and tried to block ruin, not realizing that like he upset the balance.
Yeah, well, and I like reading this. It's talking about Furukami, and it's like Furukami is the only thing that existed before preservation and ruin of the three powers, and then obviously ruin ruin did hemalurgy and preservation did allomancy, but it's like the reason that existed before is because you're not creating something new or taking something, you're just
You're
up.
storing it up, yeah.
Right, so it's kind of the whole energy can't be created or destroyed, or I guess that's matter. What is it? I don't know.
It's like karmatic. It's what you
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
returns and what you get, but it's not like straight to the T kind of
Yeah. So
thing.
that's kind of what I was getting from that blurb. Anyway, I liked it. And then I was like, oh, preservation and ruin are both bad. There has to be a balance of the two, or none of either.
And maybe that's where the Hero of Ages comes in. They're the balance.
Yeah.
We are learning a lot though about hemalurgy and all of these blurbs, and I like should have known that was like I'm just like, oh, we're learning more about it. Okay. Oh, again. Oh, okay. Oh, again. Oh, okay. And then 37 shows up, and then you're like, I should have fucking known. I should have seen it coming.
Yeah.
But we learned so in this chapter, it's all about Marsh. Marsh is really confusing me. Like him and Spook, there's just something about them both that I just can't get behind right now. Like it's kind of like with you and the Ellen thing. You're like, nope, I don't like Ellen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just getting bad juju vibes from both of them, and I can't.
Yeah. I
Because
agree.
he's like, my mind is my own, and then like the next sentence he goes, oh, but I love enjoying these murders, and I'm like, what?
What?
And I have to also remember that Marsh is of Scott origin. He
Yeah.
is he was at a time that Kelsier was around where Kelsier was like, murder every noble. I don't care. They don't like. So I have to think about it that way, but he is still murdering Scott people
Yeah, and there's
on
just
his way
something
to
about
murder a
it that
noble.
I'm like, what's yeah.
And like,
I- And I don't
I just don't get it.
understand what Ruin is trying to do here. Like, is he looking for someone specific? What's going on? Um,
Yeah, like, and I honestly thought so. Basically, Marsh goes over to this farmland outside of Luthadel, not too close, but not too far, like where they still have enough time. Kills a couple of people, goes inside the house of this nobleman or whatever, and then kills the nobleman. And then I'm just like, oh fuck, is that Penrod? And I was like, no, no, that can't be Penrod. But
no, I don't think we know who this is.
no, I like looked because they said like at the it's on the lake shore at the base of one of the ash mounts, and
Yeah.
that's not anywhere near where we should be. But I'm just very confused about what's happening. Like, is this the upset that like is this how they start doing the revolt? Because we
I don't
learn
know.
because we learn later on that there's issues in Luthadel that like weren't very forthcoming, and this is happening right outside Luthadel. Is this connected?
Right. I don't know. And then like Marsha's like, you don't need to worry about that for long because they're like, we don't have any food, like we're starving. Send back the obligators and we will deal with it. Like we just
Like we'll never do this again, sort of thing. Oh, lost her. What's just really crazy though is there's something afoot. I can hear you now. I don't see you, but I can hear you. Just gonna mute her right now until she can figure that out. um, but basically, shit's being kind of weird. No one really knows what's going on. Um, and Marsh is killing, assassinating all these like random ass people. Hello, you're on your webcam. Okay, I don't know. Hello. Um, so I don't know. It's just weird because he's like enjoying the murders, but he also knows that he like he's just bidding his time until he can do something about it. And I'm just like, what? And spewing lava, and yeah, and he's like, you have bigger things to worry about, and I'm sitting here like what? They're the ash mount. It's in the middle of a lake. What is this gonna keep going until it burns them? Like, I think they'd see it and have enough time to go. Yeah, I don't know, but and I think it just made me dislike Marsh. Yeah, but anyways, all right, chapter 35. Okay, speaking of spook, I tell you what, spook. No, no. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's just so basically Breeze's oh, I think it's somebody. I don't know who it is, but it's fucked up and I don't like them. But yeah, um could have been. What if the bead or whatever wasn't necessarily a spike, but was of metal similar to a spike that could have easily like pierced from the inside? I don't know. But basically they're so we're in Utru or whatever it's called. We're in Utru and Quellion is big bad over here. So Breeze and Spook are gonna go into some of these ska um bars, I guess, at night and try to mingle and get some information. So he Spook leaves Breeze in like a more up to do sort of bar because that's just kind of how he acts. And then he was gonna go down into like the slums. He also essentially wanted to do it by himself because he's gonna go like confront Dern, but the voice is like, yeah, I never liked him. And he's like, yeah, Kelsier's voice said that he never liked him. And I'm like, what? Yeah, he did. Like, unless we are unloading some of Kelsier's feelings towards the old crew members, like, this is insane. No, it cannot be Kelsier. Like, I don't like this bullshit. So, yeah, like, why are you so upset that he's talking about you and in not a terrible light? He's always talked about not being good enough and not being able to help people or do things or whatever. And so now people are looking at him as if he's from like him as he's Spook from Kelsier's crew. He's like he survived a fire, he got out, he did all of these things. And I'm like, okay, that's what you always bitched about not ever doing before. So why is this such a thing now? Yeah, like do you not want him to know that you have like pewter, like you can pewter burn now? Or like do you not want him to know that you survived a fire, like you got caught, like survived this? Like that's shit Kelsier did, and Breeze was a okay with it. And if you're able to, like, if you are able to get out of there unscathed and like you're perfectly fine standing right in front of me, I don't see. I don't know. Like last night after like a bomb was dropped and I was reading it and I was like, oh, what the fuck? I don't want to read about Spook. And was like, oh, babe, it's Spook. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I want to read more about whatever happened over here, not this bullshit. I don't know. I just think it's stupid what's happening with him. Yeah. She's being burned in a few days. Yeah. It makes sense. It made sense in the next chapter that we read about spooks. So like, but still, just you computer burn whatever. Just go in there, grab them, and leave. It's really not that hard. Well, okay, it probably is, but like you doing this is a lot is a much too much. Okay, 36. I had a lot to say. Maybe he literally this is what I'm saying. Maybe he got spiked in that fire and he was in pain. He didn't know what he was doing because he was in a fire. No one else was like considering what else could have happened. And then he just goes and like takes the bead because now he can burn it and he goes, "Oh, I feel it." Which is I'm not saying inquisitors are involved, but I'm that's why I feel like it's ruin in his head and not anything else. Ugh, I don't know. So basically, Set is telling Ellen off for going in there for his own personal reason. He makes a lot of sense. Not a lot of the time does Set make any sense. A lot of the time it's just like his own gain, nothing like major for anybody else. He makes the biggest point that no one has ever questioned. So essentially, he's talking about the ball and how he shouldn't have gone. And Ellen's like, "No, I think that was a great idea. I stand by my decision. I do this. I'm glad we did that." And he goes, "No, you're playing both sides. You shouldn't have gone in there because now you will never be able to attack the city because you feel that these people that you met, you danced among, you drank among, all of that is going to get hurt. And that's right there is going to be your ultimate downfall in taking over the city." And he's like, "No, no, he's not. All of the girls that Vin got them to be away from the one girl, whoever head bitch was, and then him and his like ex best friend Teldon was in there, and so like if he wouldn't have known that, the losses wouldn't have been as yeah, yeah. I respect him for what he's trying to do because he's ultimately not trying to like he just wants to get in that storage catch. So like I yes, I understand and I respect him for that decision. However, Set is making some really good words and he never does. And honestly, yeah. Um and all of a sudden they're Demo is back from his little whatever escapade of sickness. Mistfallen is what they're calling them. Um but there's something new with all of this. There is quite a coincidental amount of people who are fallen from the mist that are also like staying sick longer, specifically 16 days total. So 16's popping back up. It's 16% of the population gets hit by the mist. 16% of this passes. 16%, like, they are being sick for 16 days. And Demo is like, my lord, you don't understand. And he's like, oh, no, that's a coincidence. That's a coincidence. And it's like, Ellen, shut the fuck up. Like, listen to him. There are too many like outliers here for it to be a one-off event. This is, yeah, like maybe one or two out in the, like, the far west, that's understandable, and then like maybe one down south, like whatever, but this is everywhere. And he's over here being pissed off, and it's like, okay, we already know that 16 is obviously a ruin, but I am curious how they figure, like, what is the text or the thing that cannot be written by ruin or like changed by him, that solidifies that 16 is ruin. And I also want to know if it's random people or if it's like decorated, devoted um members, not members of the church, but like devoted believers of the survivor, because he said out loud to everybody, especially at his camp, that these mists are of the survivor. He was Lord of the Mist. So if he does this, it's his will. Ruin heard that. Ruin probably is now trying to use the mist as like a catalyst. Yeah. Now, right. And I think the whole Kelsier staying in the pits for the 16 fortnights and her being 16 when all of this happened, those two, I believe, are coincidences. Anything else, you gotta tell me. Yeah. 16 2 weeks. And there's 16 shards that we're aware of. Although, hold on though, although Will made a comment that things are always like around, like the books or whatever always have like a certain number, and he goes, yeah, there's like 8 medals and it's like now ruined 16. So I'm not saying it's not a coincidence, but
But I don't think it's related to this.
yeah, I don't know. But it would be kind of cool though, if, because that's when she turned 16, when she like unleashed all of her Mistborn powers, if that's when we get that she's like the um the balance. I don't know. I'm interested in that specifically. Why?
Like that last chapter or the last paragraph of the chapter is kind of what you were asking, like what Demo is one of the strongest believers in the camp, and what if the others who had been sick as long as he was, like, were they also extreme members of the Church of the Survivor? Like, Ellen starts running with that line of questioning. I did write a comment about that too. It was the last thing I wrote about that chapter, but yeah.
Because if that's the case, and the majority of them that are fallen or falling longer, and they are Church of the Survivor members, that's
Right,
something to
then
consider.
why? Like, is that because Ruin was against Kelsier? Is that because the Lord Ruler hated Kelsier? Is that because it's an easy scapegoat? Like, what is it?
I was gonna say, I feel like it's an easy scapegoat. I feel like Rowan can easily influence people this way.
Yeah.
Especially with everybody shouting, like, the survivor this, the survivor that. Hell, we don't even know who the fuck is in Spook's head.
Yeah. We don't know
But there
yet.
he is
Like,
with the survivor. Like, Kelsier bullshit. Mm.
it's a lot.
37.
37. Vin has learned nothing. She hears screaming and battle sounds, and she just jumps out of bed and takes off towards it. And I was just like, Vin, have you learned nothing? Like, she takes off and she just hits this battle and she's going, she's fighting, and then all of a sudden, there's another Mistborn. And she takes off chasing it. Come on.
And that right there.
Come on. Have we learned no lessons with this? Like,
no.
And so she's like chasing him. She's out in the middle of nowhere. And then he loses her. Like, he gets lost. And then she's like, wait. Because she realizes that he's learned that he has to turn off his
all
metal
his stuff.
because she can pierce copper clouds. And she's like, wait a second. If he can escape me at the exact moment when I've burned all my tin with Duralumin, then he's gonna remain hidden till I'm gone. Why did he let me see him in the first place? Fucking exactly. It was a diversion. And then she starts jumping with anxiety back toward the camp. Bitch. Bitch. Bitch.
And she immediately sees Ellen and goes to him and was like, oh my god, are you okay? And he goes, I'm fine, but there's something else that happened.
Yeah.
And we find out that items were placed on a very high cliff above the Kolos camp. And they just rained fire on all these rocks, and it essentially killed 10,000 of their 20,000 Kolos groups.
Yeah.
Because they enraged themselves and they murdered each other.
Mm-hmm. And
so
she's like, this was very well planned attack. Or Ham was like, this is a very well planned attack. Yeoman must have seen us sending out extra patrols in the morning. I don't think Yeoman alone is behind this. I do not believe that Yeoman
with the
in
do
the very
this like
least he
think
has a
this way.
Mistborn, if not an Inquisitor.
Yeah. I do think the Inquisitor, not necessarily the Inquisitors, but I think Yeoman may be involved, but not like the brains behind it. I feel like they're like Marsh. Because Marsh knows that where they're at.
Yeah. I think there's either an Inquisitor there with him, basically pulling the strings, or like Zane. There's a Mistborn there. I don't know. Because I still
There's
don't
definitely
believe that Mistborn is. I mean, I guess technically Zane isn't full Mistborn. He's
especially with that spike.
Yeah, he's like not as Inquisitor, but like he does have a spike, so like
yeah. And we don't know either what kind of spike it was. Did they figure that out?
Right.
Was it because we did learn in one of the blurbs that the Feruchemy has like can be made into a spike, and that's why the Inquisitors have it so that they're easily they can heal.
Yeah. But I do not at all believe that he is the only one behind this. Like, no.
Mm-mm.
But being an obligator, it would make sense for him to have an Inquisitor he's working with. And he wouldn't have any problem with that because he's an obligator.
Yeah. So. And the Inquisitors might follow Ruin now, but they could easily tell him, like, oh, it's the Lord Ruler. And because he believes the Lord Ruler is going to come back to save them and to, like, take back over.
Is this what you thought, what we're about to talk about? That is not the spoiler that I read. That is not the spoiler that I read. But holy fucking shit. We learn how Colossus are made.
And we had an idea, and we just thought, we were like, no, they can't be. How would that even work? But it's true.
Yeah.
So, human, the Kolos, was like, what do you mean children? Because him and Vin are walking throughout the camp because she's going to go take over like 1,000 of them or something like that. She's going to take on a little bit more of the burden. And she's like, yeah, well, how do you guys like replenish your ranks? You guys will just have to have more babies, right? And she's like, or human goes, what? I don't understand.
And then he like screams like it's paining him to tell her. Like he can't tell
Yeah.
her.
And I think it's kind of like the same thing that the Conjure did.
Yeah.
Where like you're breaking a contract or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But basically he grabs a recently dead Kolos, like a younger one, rips the skin off of them, and then just runs through the camp, runs through the soldiers' camp into like the infirmary area. And she goes, stop! Come to find out, Kolos are made from human. So when he said, I am human, it wasn't because he wanted to be human. It's because he is, in fact,
human.
a human created into a Kolos through spikes.
So yeah, like Kolos are created through some kind of twisted form of hemalurgy. Like,
yeah. And it's not, so like with Marsh and all of them, like when you make the Inquisitors, they're alive. They're everything. They kill with like an alive person.
mm-hmm.
Kolos take dead men
and
you put all the shit in there.
That so we've learned a lot about hemalurgy and the blurbs, and we talked about how they can have Feruchemy. Is that how they grow? Are they like slowly pulling like strength out of those spikes?
Maybe.
And that's how they grow into these giant creatures. I don't know. I could be wrong. But
we could be reaching at this point.
Yeah, but like wild. I was like, holy fucking shit. That's literally what I wrote. I wrote holy dot fucking dot shit dot.
That's why I was like, oh, what the fuck? I knew it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we were always like, well, why is he saying he's human? And I was like, what if, like, how are they made? Like, are they actually human?
Right. We were right. Or you were right.
And Will goes, what? I want to hear it. I was like, they're fucking humans.
Yeah. Wild. And that is not the spoiler that I read. So.
But it is a wild.
It is a very wild turn of events. And super fucked up.
Sorry, my legs were getting cold. My air conditioning's off.
I guess
it was just
at least he
on my
went
hand.
to the like infirmary and didn't try to do it to like a healthy human, but like
right. Well, and I think he know like, and it's crazy too because like she had asked him, she goes, "Do you guys not care that like your people are dying?" But he's the only one that has any sort of what did Tensoon call it, like sapience, some type of sapience.
Yeah. The rest of them are all just kind of like.
And it's weird because like Marsh isn't supposed to have that much sapience either, and he has a lot too. What if human was actually like maybe not necessarily part of like the survivors crew, but what if he was in fact somebody that has like a strong will, kind of like how Marsh was, Kelsier, all of those things?
Yeah.
Yo, I would shit a brick if it's fucking if it's Dachshund.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
I would shit myself. Oh my god.
Or Zane.
Because I was thinking about it, I was like, well, if they're dead, and they couldn't find Doc's body.
Right, they didn't. Oh man.
I
got make a reference to Grey's Anatomy, but you won't understand it.
No.
It's like the one TV show I've seen that you haven't.
Name another TV show that I like will sit down and like watch all the time. that I start. I should say that I start. Like I might watch a few TV shows, but it's not like, damn, I gotta go home and watch Grey's Anatomy kind of thing. That's
I
Will's
didn't
job.
watch it until it was all out on Netflix. It was, I mean, I started watching it before the last season came out, but
You're like, fuck no.
yeah.
I started fucking Bridgerton and I was like involved. I was so involved. Like I watched the entire first season probably in a couple of days
Mm-hmm.
involved. And I think I have one episode left. I guess one episode left from season 1 and I haven't turned it back on since. Whatever. Anyways, chapter 38.
Chapter 38. No, we're back with Spook. Yeah, so this was where Emily was like, fuck, I don't want to read about Spook.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit about Spook at this point in time. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I want more Ellen and Vin chapters.
Yeah.
Spook's just fucking insane.
He is, and this is so weird. Like,
I'm honestly more frustrated that, I mean, okay, basically Sazed and Breeze are at a bar and everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows who everyone is at this point. There is no hiding who they truly are. What?
Before we talk about them, in the first part of the chapter, we find out what Spook is doing with those 10 men. And they're like combing through a recently burned house. And like through the remains, and they find 9 skulls. So he's going back and doing what Dern had told him. Dern said to count the skulls, and Spook is like 10 people were sent in here to die, and there are only 9 skulls. So someone got out, or someone did not get burned.
There's a way to get out, yeah.
Yeah. I think that they're like doing something with those people, but
I think that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think
they're
like
probably creating like mistings or something.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they're burning people of noble blood.
Yeah.
Because they're more likely to have powers or gain those like pure powers than anybody else, which might be why Ellen has such a pure form,
right,
of allomancy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this is their way of, instead of beating the shit out of them,
yeah,
they are burning them, and
Kelsier's coming to save them.
Snap, then they get out, and if not, then they die. But anyway, now go ahead. Breeze and Sazed.
It's just really weird. And I'm like, why Sazed? It's really weird that Quellion is sitting here using Church of the Survivor and being such a dick about it. Like, he definitely has a hidden motive, considering he is, a misting of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
He might be trying to do what what's his face did, just the opposite way. Straff just kept producing children among children to get like a mistborn or whatever, to get mistings, and he might be doing it this way in a lot less time.
Yeah.
But so everybody at this bar and everyone basically knows who Spook and not Spook, well, basically Sazed and Spook are, and Breeze. Spook's not with them though. I just keep saying I'm sorry.
Yeah. But they're about to talk about Spook, I think.
Yeah, and so they pop up and Breeze goes and sits with this group of Scotmen, and they ask the Terracemen to come over because they would rather believe something from the Terracemen because they don't lie, they tell the truth. And all of these things, which yeah, and they're like, I'd rather hear it from you and be lied to than hear it from a soother. And Breeze is like,
he's like, oh, they know who I
am. So basically Sazed tells them why they're there, what their end goal is, and kind of what's the whole gist of it. And they're talking about like, oh well, no, we're not worried because we have a new survivor, and everyone's like, new survivor? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
He goes,
what's
yeah,
that?
the survivor of the fire. And I was like, oh fuck no, ain't no way. Spook is now called the survivor, whatever the fucking fire.
Survivor of the Flames.
The flame, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Because
because
he
David's like, why do you
left.
call Kelsey or that? And they're like, no, not Kelsey, or the other survivor.
Yeah, that's when I was like, oh hell no. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
And Sazed doesn't get it because he doesn't know that Spook was put into the
yeah.
fire.
And I think that's why, because they're saying like, oh, you're gonna have to see it tonight. Like there's
Yeah.
something big happening tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, is it
Which
because
I think
10
that's,
skulls go in and 9 come out? So like,
yeah. I think that the something big is him saving the sister, Maylee, or whatever her
yeah.
name is. But yeah, now Spook is
Either way, I'm not a fan. I
no,
don't
and
know.
especially because like Spook's big thing, right, is that he's no help and that he's not important and yada yada yada. And now all of a sudden he's been made into the next survivor.
Something.
It's
Yeah.
really I don't
Yeah, it's like it's some bullshit I'm not wanting to buy into.
yeah, I'm not here for it. Don't like it.
I'd rather him find his self-worth without help.
Yeah, and like just I feel like this is like it's like the beginning of his villain arc. Like
Yeah,
I don't think
I
this is gonna
don't
be
have
good.
good vibes.
No, not at all.
Ugh.
So
I don't
um
know.
yeah, so chapter 39.
We
Chapter
do
10 soon.
also, yeah, so we learn a little bit more about the Khandra and how they're made. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
We have an idea of what happens to make them made, but we don't know like the exact motives, like the way like we do the Koloss and the Inquisitors. Um, but Tensoon has only been gone for like a year, so he is searching for something that he left behind before he went back to the homeland. Um, so he's looking for like a little dip in the ground, and he digs it up and he finds spikes. And he says each Khandra has a spike, and now he has two, one for him and one for
Or store.
when he, yeah, or Sir. However, he said he has a total of four. Where the other two come from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Well,
wonder if
and
one of them is a Zane spike, actually.
ooh, maybe.
Because he has his own, Orsur's, and Zane's. So that's three. So now
Maybe.
there's just like that one weird extra.
Um, I just so reading like Tensoon's inner thoughts and everything, Tensoon and Sazed are very similar in their like
Yeah.
way of thinking. So I'm interested to see how
How
that
both of
goes.
them combine.
Yeah, and then I was like, so were the Kandra like based on his like thoughts and what um the contract, the first contract or whatever, um is it almost feels like the Kandra were like a fail safe for when the world started to end, like they're supposed to help save the world kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Because
Should the world.
literally the first contract was a set of instructions, actions to take when the world began to fail. Like
Yeah.
and Tensoon is
And
the only one sticking to that.
yeah, and like the second generation, because he's third, so he was there when it was written. He was there when the first generation kind of withdrew themselves and let second generation deal with everything.
Mm-hmm.
He was there through it all. And he basically was like, The first contract was explicit. When Ruin returned, the Kandra were to seek out the father to serve him. Unfortunately, the father was dead. The first contract didn't take that possibility into consideration, so, unable to go to the father, Tensoon did the next best thing. He went looking for Vin.
Wait, yes. But also, I just read something up a little bit further. So he took 2 spikes from Orsur's body. So each Kandra has 2 spikes. That's why he has 4 now. Also, someone has a tiny penis.
Every day, it's the same person on this, like, it's not even a motorbike. It's it's like a dirt bike.
But anyway, so that's why he has 4, because Orsur had 2 and he had 2. Like each Kandra has 2 spikes.
I thought they all had 1. Because it didn't matter what spike you got, you still got sapience. It's just one had potency, so like Orsur had potency, so he was able to have yeah.
Like,
and
kind of
he
like
had some other one that gave him
intelligence, yes, kind of.
Yeah. How many spikes do Kandra have? Oh, They require a pair of hemalurgic spikes known as a blessing to gain sentience and form. This means a Kandra typically has 2 spikes at any given time, 1 in each shoulder, which grant them unique attributes and powers.
Okay. So,
one spike is considered a half blessing.
Okay. So Tensoon's gift was presence, and her blessing was presence, and Orsur's was potency. And so, yeah, he's going to find Vin to help save the world, and I'm so excited about it.
They're reunited. Well, will be. Not yet.
One more chapter, which we're actually doing really good on time. I did write quite a bit about this last chapter, but chapter 40, the blurb is just fucked up. Each Colossus is the melding of not 2 people, but 5. Because each spike, they have 4 spikes, and each spike that they use is from killing a person. So it's like kind of trapping their soul.
Yeah. It's not 5 bodies, 5 souls.
5 souls, but 1 body. And
it's like blood magic, basically.
Yeah. And each pair of spikes grants what the Kandra would call the blessing of potency. So the Colossus kind of have 2 blessings of potency, which is why they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And increasingly inhuman, it says. Which is just like fucked. Like, what the fuck?
It's just, what are we gonna do now that we know all of this?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if they actually go through with the making more Colossus out of dead men.
Yeah, I don't know. And I
feel like that's going to be a breaking point for
Ellen.
Oh, yeah.
I also was wondering, so they're talking, then we jump into like Ellen and his people talking about how Inquisitors are made and yada yada yada, and I'm like, do you think that Kandra, maybe not Kandra, but Colossus were like a failed experiment in trying to make the Inquisitors?
Probably.
Like, Yeah. Because it's similar. It's all hemorrhagy. So, like, were they trying to figure out how to make the Inquisitors, and that's what happened first?
Maybe. I still don't even know what a Kandra looks like. To me, a Kandra, it just reminds me of, like...
I imagine Flubber. Like a little blob.
That's actually pretty good. I don't know why. I just keep thinking, like, some aquatic creature.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, a combination...
But
yeah. I just feel like I like something alien, like gills, like webbed hands. I don't know. That's immediately what I imagine when I think of Kandra. I don't know if it's
that.
like...
And I love that, like, how different our imaginations are, because we both have read the same descriptions, but I'm imagining, like, Blobby from Hotel Transylvania, like a big gelatinous blob just floating around.
Yeah, like when they talk about the true bodies, like I don't know why. I think there isn't there like a Japanese like water spirit named Kandra or something like that.
Don't know. But in all of this conversation, I'm cracking up because they're like talking about the Inquisitors and how the Inquisitors are made, and Set is like, does this have a point? Like, I don't understand why we're talking about this. What does this have to do with anything? And Ham goes, well, it seems to be doing a good job of annoying you. Do we need any other point? I just fucking love it. Like, yes.
See, I looked up what a Kandra looks like, and it's like it shows like a fucking weird alien.
Okay. It's not what I
And
imagined, but
then it's basically it's okay. That didn't do shit.
oh, okay.
It's literally like a skeleton with like a gelatinous covering. I don't know.
That's more what I imagined, but I don't know either. Um, but
And
okay,
it's definitely not anything Japanese related.
they finally on page 368 reach the point that I've been saying for multiple chapters now. They're like, if we can control Kandra and we can control Kalas, they both have that same weakness, and
We can
Inquisitors
control
were made the
Inquisitors.
same way. Yes, finally they get there. And I was like, finally! Now, do I think
This
that Ben
mosquito
is
bite
strong
is
enough to do
really
it?
itchy.
Probably not.
They would have to probably have like a team.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna have to work together to do it. But
I also wonder if this is like when Marsha's going to get heavily more involved with
yeah, like with the crew.
figuring it all out. I do also think because at the end of the chapter too, they're both kind of starting to talk about it, but then like shushes him because he's like Ruin, or she says like Ruin can hear everything, which is why. And then she says that she stayed out in the mist, and like it was not trying to envelope around her, but like enough to not like her. Which is why I think Ruin manipulates the mist. And probably because she's like, I don't understand why it would help me with the Lord Ruler. And it's like, because the Lord Ruler was protecting everyone from Ruin. And that was the final piece to get rid of him. So that's why the mist helped you. Now it ain't fucking helping you now because like it's going against you, which is kind of goes back to the Lord of the Mist bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they keep going and they're still talking about stuff, and then a messenger or like a soldier shows up, and he is
Is
from
from Luthadel.
And Ellen's like, finally, like, what does Penrod say? Where are those supply barges? And this guy's name is Conrad. He's like, I'm here to ask you for help. Like, apparently there are riots in Luthadel, and the the food supplies are being pillaged, and Penrod needs more soldiers to regain control of the city. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, who is there rioting? Because that's what this feels like to me. Someone is there rioting the people.
The Inquisitors.
Yeah, like, is it the Inquisitors?
Why do you think Marsh went and murdered somebody?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. This chapter, like, it's like, what is happening?
A lot. A lot is happening.
Yeah. And Ellen is like, this is strategic. They're attacking our messengers with Colossus. They're undermining the supply base in Luthadel by rioting the people. Like, they're trying to make us pull away from Phaedrus, which is the city that they're at now. And then Finn is like, shh, like, stop talking. Because, like,
you don't want to hear you.
Yeah, I think you figured it out, and we don't want Ruin to know that we figured it out. And then she talks about the mists, like you were talking about, and I said the same thing. I was like, is the mist mad at her for releasing Ruin? Is that why it all of a sudden won't help her anymore? And I think you're right. I think that is the case.
I think the only reason why it helped her at that one time was because of trying to get rid of the one thing that was like blocking him.
Yeah. But again, I think that the mist is preservation, and I think the mist didn't want Ruin released because preservation was kind of ruling and handling everything, and Ruin being out
there's not enough balance now.
That balance. Yeah. So yeah, and that's the end of chapter 40.
So in the next chapter we will finish part 3, Broken Skies.
And at the end of part 3, Broken Skies, there is another crazy spoiler. At least based on
haven't got there yet. But anyways, until next time.
Bye.